I just wanted to start off if you could kind of give Forks Over Knives readers some background about what your diet was like growing up and leading you into a plant-based lifestyle.
Absolutely. Well, I'm from a very small town, Eden, North Carolina. So when you're from the South, honey, in the country, you eat just about anything. So, growing up, I probably ate things that no one should ever eat. But when your family or my great grandfather, like people, they hunted, they did all the things. And also when you have lack of resources and money, you eat whatever you get. But I grew up eating traditional Southern food, from pork to beef to chicken, all the things. And crazy enough, in high school, I had really bad like menstrual cramps growing up. And so my mom would take me to so many doctors trying to get me relief to help me. And when I was 15, I went to a specialist who told me if you stop eating red meat, it'll help your menstrual cramps. And I was like, really? I stopped eating all meat that day. I was 15 years old. I was like, well, if he said red meat, but what if I take away all meat because I was in so much pain? I was just like, maybe it'll make it even better. And so I went vegetarian, and I was vegetarian for 5 years until I was 20. And then when me and my husband moved in together at that age, I still would cook for him, right? I was learning how to cook, and like he would eat like chicken and fish. I was like, you know what? I could eat chicken and fish. The doctor never said that. I made that choice on my own. So I went back to eating like fish and chicken, but I never went back to red meat or pork. So it's been over 30 years since I've had, any red meat or pork. But then, of course, 20 plus years later, I went vegan. So, but yeah, definitely a traditional Southern diet was how I grew up until I was 15.
And when you went vegan, you were having migraines and some other symptoms, right?
Yeah, I was having chronic like pain throughout my body, chronic fatigue. I had a terrible headache in the back of my head, and they couldn't figure out why. And it literally just kind of went throughout my body, and it rested there for a year and 7 months. And it was a very debilitating time. Some days were better than others, but some days it hurt to like open your eyes and be able to see or walk, or I would fall when I would walk. Not the best shape. They told me it was something autoimmune, but they just couldn't figure out what. And so when I watched What the Health on Netflix, I was like, oh, maybe I'll try going, plant-based, or, do like a vegan 30-day challenge. And I did. And after the first 10 days, the headache I had every day for a year and 7 months just disappeared. And I was like, okay, I'm onto something here.
Were you shocked when that happened?
Absolutely. I was like, when you've been in pain for so long, you kind of, it's so routine. I didn't even realize that my head wasn't hurting. I remember walking into my kitchen and I was like, wait, my head doesn't hurt.
Wow.
It dawned on me like, my headache is gone. So I was definitely in shock. Called my husband like, my headache is gone. And so been on the journey ever since.
When your TikTok first started taking off during the pandemic, were you surprised by the response that you got?
I mean, I had been on social media since 2017, right? So I had my first like viral moment with my Whole Food sandwich, right? And it's
Yes.
on Facebook. And so I knew what that felt like. And I had maybe like 500,000 followers already on like Facebook, and like 200,000 on Instagram at that time. My
Wow.
daughter kept telling me, Mom, you should get on TikTok. I was like, girl, aren't they just dancing on there? Because back then everybody was just dancing on TikTok. And she was like, no, you can like do your food videos that you do on Facebook and Instagram. You can do your inspirational messages, and people will love you. You'll be like the TikTok mom. I was like, I don't know about that, girl. That doesn't make sense to me. But she kept pushing me and pushing me to do it. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. And so back then you only had 60 seconds to do whatever you were going to do. And I was like, oh my God, I got to try to figure out how to do a recipe in 60 seconds. And so when I did, I figured it out. And the first week I went viral, I was like, oh, my daughter must know what she's talking about. A lot of people already knew me there, but then a lot of new people. But over 2 years, I had grew my Facebook, followers to 500,000 organically. On TikTok, I had 1 million followers in the first 30 days. And I was like, what? And then the next week, another million. I was like, this is insane. It just kept growing and growing and growing. And that did blow me away. I was like, this is crazy. But
That is amazing. Yeah, that is exponential growth there. Did you find that having to try to make recipe videos that were only a minute long, did that change how you cooked at all or how you approached recipes?
You know, it didn't change how I cooked, it just changed how I filmed, right?
Mm.
So what it did was introduce me to a quicker way to do content. So it created a new form because I always just used to go live on Facebook. And I'd be on Facebook Live for like 45 minutes to an hour every day at 5 o'clock. And so when I started doing the TikTok, I was like, oh, wait, I can do this in like 20 minutes and just record and post it, and more people can watch instantly versus going live. And I started doing that. And now, of course, sometimes I'll do, 90 seconds, but I still like a little bit of a long form. So I do sometimes maybe 3 or 4 minutes. But people love that because also people like to see really quick what they can do and copy it and get it done. So it definitely introduced a new way of shooting for me.
And your viral carrot dog recipe, kind of put carrot dogs on the map. I made the carrot chili dogs last night, actually. They're
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
good. Yes, the pecan chili topping,
Yeah. It's
that's
so
a
good.
revelation. It's amazing.
It's
Um,
my favorite too. I love pecan chili.
I never would have thought of that. I have extra, so if you have any tips for other things to use it on, I would love to hear that.
Oh yeah, spaghetti, tacos, all the things.
Oh, tacos. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. I might have to make some tacos tonight, but um so yeah, so carrot dogs great for summer cookouts, and we're talking this story will appear in the summer issue of Forks Over magazine, so shifting to kind of a summer mindset. Beyond the
Yeah.
carrot dogs, do you have any other go-to summer cookout recipes that are easy and delicious?
Yeah, I love like the kebab sticks. You take the kebab stick and put all my favorite things on it. But one of my favorite things is like a barbecue jackfruit kebab. So red onions, pineapple, mushroom, jackfruit, and then red bell peppers. It's so good. And then you brush it with, your favorite barbecue sauce. And I have a light sweet, light smoky season. I put that on there, and you just kind of let them sit on the grill, turn them a couple times. It's like a crowd favorite. Whoever is there, they absolutely love the kebabs. That's one of my favorite things. And everybody know I love avocado. I will grill avocado on the grill. Of course, you can also grill like veggies. They're just great, like um, peppers and onions, zucchini squash, yellow squash, mushrooms. Ooh, oyster mushrooms on the grill are amazing.
Mm.
It's so good. But yeah,
I would never think to put jackfruit on kebabs, but I guess that makes sense if you, so do you get the canned jackfruit
yeah,
usually?
yeah.
And
I get
just
the canned baby, like the green jackfruit, so it's still like doesn't have the sweetness because it's not ripe. So it goes perfectly because there it's almost like a little triangle chunk, and then you just slide it onto the kebab stick.
I'm definitely gonna try that.
Yeah,
And I wanted to also ask if you have any favorite summer produce that you like highlighting. It sounds like for you, bell peppers are a big one, and
I
squash.
love bell peppers. Absolutely, I love like when it comes to like watermelon, of course, all the melons. I love honeydew melon. I love cantaloupe. Of course, I'm a big berry, like antioxidants, like blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. I'm trying to think what other summer fruits and veggies. Of course, avocado are year round, and it's a must. But yeah, those are like my go-tos.
Do you have an avocado tree at your place?
You know what's so crazy? I do, but the winds split it in half.
Oh
And so
no.
it never got it was because you have to have two in order to
Oh,
grow
right.
avocados. So it's like they mate, it's like a male and a female tree. So it split, so one of them broke. So now they would have to come and like replant. And that one was here when we got here, when we moved here. So it was just starting to get, of age enough to start. I
Oh.
was like, no. So got started all over. My old house that I used to live in, we had an avocado tree. It was beautiful, huge avocados. We have a blood orange tree. We
Ooh.
have a regular like a winter orange tree as well, or a summer orange tree, a kumquat tree, and then of course I have like a little garden where I grow like bell peppers and tomatoes and kale.
Oh, so that's so amazing. You get to make things fresh from your own garden.
Yeah, yeah. I got to replant because it's like a lot of ashes, flew through the air and all the things. So we'll,
Yeah.
we'll uproot it and get it for the spring start all over.
You create a lot of dishes with whole foods and a lot with kind of budget friendly pantry staples. I've noticed just kind of using what's on hand. So I was wondering what you always keep, what's always in Tabitha Brown's pantry.
Oh my lord, girl. I got so much in there, but there's always, like, seasonings because I love to cook, right? So, your my very good garlic powder, my light sweet, light smoky, which is also my seasoning, because my light sweet, light smoky is a seasoning I created, which is salt-free, to make things taste like meat or like bacon. So it gives you so many options of things that you can use it, on for whether you're a meat person that you're eating meat or you're vegan. It's like, oh, this is perfect because it gives me the flavor and then I don't have to actually use meat. So that's always there. Avocados are always in my house. Dill pickles are always in my house. Um, what else? I always keep like gluten-free pasta or rice because you can make dishes very easily with that. I usually always have kale, but it's in my refrigerator, not my pantry. What else?
Well,
Oh,
that fridge can count too if they're fridge
right,
staples.
yeah. I always have some type of wraps because I love a sandwich or a wrap of some sort, like a spinach wrap or a sun-dried tomato wrap. And pecans I always keep because
Mm.
I use them to make meat.
Yes, that's
Yeah,
incredible. I'm going to be using them lots more now too.
yeah,
Uh,
and it's good protein too.
totally. Yes. Nice and filling. So do you have what's your, if you've had a super busy day, you just want something easy to throw together, what's a go-to recipe that you might make?
I love sautés, like scrambles. So I do like a Tuscan kale with sweet potatoes, mushrooms, onions, bell peppers, and I just saute it all up together. It's so
Mm.
delicious.
Love
Yeah.
sweet potatoes.
Yes.
Yeah. And going back to your seasonings, it's so we fork silver knives are also we're low salt or low sodium, so we love that you have this salt-free line of seasonings. It's very exciting. Could you talk about why it was important to you to do salt-free seasonings?
Oh, absolutely. Well, for me, I'm from the South, but also my family dynamic. I know the history of my family when it comes to like blood pressure and heart disease and all the things, and salt contributes to a lot of those issues. And so, when I was younger and first started cooking, I remember my granny told me she was the cook in our family, and she told me she said, "You never want to oversalt your food when you're cooking." She was like, "If you go to a restaurant, where's salt?" And I was like, "Well, it's on the table, like salt and pepper." She was like, "That's right. It doesn't really belong in the kitchen. You season your food with herbs and spices, and if you need salt, salt is for taste. So once you have cooked your food, you try it, and if you need to add a little salt, then you add it. But don't overcook your food with salt." So that was one thing I always remembered. But then just seeing so many people that look like me, along with my family, have high blood pressure and they're suffering from so many different ailments. I was like, I gotta start like my own way of taking care of myself without um, eating too much salt. And so I was already like that. So when I started doing content, I just made it, I was more vocal about it just to tell people, hey, we have the highest numbers of blood pressure, when it comes to Black and brown people. We have high blood pressure, like we're through the roof, diabetes, like all the things. Let's like not use so much salt. So I would cook and I say, y'all, we don't need a lot of salt, just a little pinch or none at all. We can season other ways. So it was really just to make people aware, but also to give people an option to season their food without the risk of it hurting them.
How do you come up with the flavors for that line with McCormick?
You know what? I know what I like. I know what I like. So, when it was so much fun going into the test kitchen with McCormick, because that was my first time like being in a full test kitchen with all the herbs and spices separate. And you're measuring them by the grain, but I have a taste in mind of what I wanted. So when I first did my first one, which was sunshine seasoning, I knew everybody was on lockdown. We were all, the pandemic, it was height of pandemic 2020, 2021. And my thought was, I wanna make something that feels like vacation in a bottle. So I wanted like the pineapple, the ginger, the garlic, like a little bit of cayenne for a little bit of heat to make you feel like, "Oh, I'm on vacation because there's a tropical feeling." So that's what made me do sunshine, and it was warm because it's called sunshine, right? But it was so much flavor, it's layered with flavor. And when I did very good garlic, everybody knows I love garlic powder. I was kinda like notoriously known for that on TikTok. And so I was like, "Oh, I wanna put all kinds of different garlic, like, regular garlic, then you like black garlic, like mix them all up to give the umami flavors." and make a very good garlic. So that's why I did that. And then like Sweet Like Smoky, a lot of people know me because carrot bacon, carrot hot dogs. Like I've make so many things turn into like a meaty or substitute, but bacon flavor. And so my thought was, I was like, I want to create something that makes it taste like meat or that you have seasoned with meat so that people can have an option so they don't have to do that anymore. And I know like myself, like molasses and brown sugar and liquid smoke, like I would always use these things separately. So I was like, if we can create a that same flavor palette in like a dry powder form for seasoning, I think we in the sweet spot. And McCormick, they were able to do that with me. So that's how I did it.
That's so cool. You got to go into the test kitchen and everything.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I always do all that. Like I never let anybody just put my name on something. I gotta be start to finish. I gotta see exactly what it is. I gotta approve it. I gotta test it. I do all the things.
I was, I really like, I was scared of your some of okay your recipes. They often don't, your cookbook doesn't include measurements for the ingredients,
Yep.
which I felt intimidated by at first, but actually found as I was using them, it kind of instills more confidence. I feel like
Yeah.
it
Well,
actually,
I always tell people that like if you don't trust yourself to make a you to cook without measurements, that means you don't trust yourself to make decisions. So I really wanted to do that to encourage people like, you know what you like. If you don't like a lot of something, don't put that in there. If you know that like, oh, okay, I like it a little bit, then put a little bit. Like you got to trust your spirit. So that's why it's called cooking from the spirit.
I love your sign off for your videos. Like, have a great day, and even if you can't, don't go
And that's
mess
what
with
my
the
shirt
recipe.
says
Oh, you
today.
have the shirt on.
Yeah.
Yes, and I saw you have the sweatshirts too. I love that
Yeah,
saying.
thank
Um,
you.
how, where did that like? How long have you been saying that for? I guess.
That's how my daddy raised me that way. He always said it. And so
Oh,
when I first started doing the videos, I would always say, this is what my daddy taught me. And I always signed off like that. So it came from my daddy.
oh.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, did you have anything else you want to share with Forks Over Knives readers?
Um, I don't think so. This was so great. No, you're great. No.
Oh, you are great. I really, really appreciate you making the time. We're so excited to have you in Forks Over Knives magazine as our trailblazer for summer because you're definitely a trailblazer. So thank you, Tabitha.
Oh, thank y'all for having me and thinking of me. I appreciate you.